Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about what is an API and how does an API work. So let's start with what is an API. API is an acronym for Application Programming Interface. It is a set of protocols, rules, routines which is used for building software applications. APIs specify how software components should interact, allowing different software applications to communicate with each other. In simpler terms, an API acts as a messenger between software applications, allowing them to share data and functionalities with each other in standardized and in secure way. This will enable developers to build new applications on top of existing software infrastructures without them having to start from scratch each time. And we can even say that API act as an intermediary layer, or you can say it act as a mediator or a messenger which processes data transfers between systems. APIs are present everywhere. So, what does an application programming interface mean in context with API? Application is any software with distinct features or distinct functions. Programming means writing out code. Developers use programming languages such as Java, Python, or JavaScript to write code that interact with API by making requests, sending data, and receiving responses. And finally, what does interface means? Interface refers to a set of rules and protocols that defines how software components communicate with each other using requests and responses. So, what is an example of API? Let's understand it with example like social media login. When you want to log in to your Instagram account, you can see something like this. It asks for your username and password, and then you can log into your Instagram account. Or you can even log in with the help of Facebook. This login with Facebook is an API. When you click on login with Facebook, it sends a request to that Facebook server and asks for your Facebook credentials like your username and your password. Okay, so this is an API, login with Facebook. Or let's understand with another example. If you want to open up an account with certain application, you can see such buttons like sign in with Facebook, sign in with GitHub, Google, or even sign in with Twitter. What are all this? These are all APIs. What does they do is when you click on sign in with Google, Facebook, Twitter, they send a request to that Facebook, Google, or Twitter server and ask for your credentials. So we can even say that if a developer want to build a new social media platform, but they do not want to build all of the features from scratch, they could use APIs provided by the existing social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Google to integrate their data and functionalities into their platform. Okay, this would simplify the registration process for the user and will also give the developer the access to some of their Facebook data such as their name, their profile pictures, their friend list, and can personalize their experience on their platform. Okay, so now let's talk about how does an API actually work. API architecture is usually explained in terms of client and server. The application sending the request is called the client, and the application sending the response is called the server. APIs work by exposing specific functionalities or resources of an application to other application, which can then access through set of defined protocols. These functionalities can range from simple tasks such as retrieving data to more complex tasks like updating, deleting, or creating data. To use an API, a developer must first send a request to the API. This request includes information about that desired action, such as specific resource or data that the developer want to access. The API then processes the request in their server and sends back a response, which includes the requested data and information. Okay. There are variety of protocols which helps API to communicate with other applications. Most commonly used is REST, which is also called RESTful API. We will look about this in coming videos, but most common APIs protocol are REST, SOAP, WebSocket API, OpenAPI, GraphQL API, and many more. REST. REST is an acronym for Representational State Transfer. This is the most popular and flexible APIs found on the web today. This API uses HTTP request to access and manage resources and typically returns the data in JSON or XML format. Then we have SOAP APIs. These APIs are simple object access protocol. Client and server exchange messages using XML. This is less flexible and it was popular in the past. And then we have WebSocket API. WebSocket API is another modern web API development that uses JSON objects to pass data. WebSockets are a type of API that enables real-time bidirectional communication between the client and server, and which makes it flexible and efficient than REST. And we also have different types of APIs based on their scope of use. Those are private, public, composite, and partner API. So let's start with private API. A private API is an API that is designed for use within a specific organization or a company, and it is not publicly available for external use. Then we have public API. A public API is an API that is available for use by anyone, typically over the internet. Public APIs are often used by developers to build third-party applications that can interact with the specific software or services. Then we have Composite API. Composite API is an API that combines data from multiple sources and provides a unified interface for accessing and interacting with data. In summary, we can say that Composite API combines two or more different APIs. Then we have Partner API. Partner API is an API that is designed specifically for partners and affiliates of a company or organization. Partner API may allow authorized third-party developer to access certain data and functionalities within a company's software or services. Okay, so APIs can fall into multiple categories. For example, an API can be both public and composite, or both private and composite. Additionally, some APIs may have restriction on usage or may require authentication for access even if they are considered public or open. Now, I hope this video clear what is an API and how do they work. So I'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a good day and happy coding. Bye bye.